Virgo, 2022 is going to show you what you know, what you believe, what you don't know, and what you may not be ready to accept. It's going to be a pretty spiritual year for you. I feel like there's going to be a lot of doors opening that are going to change how you view the world and what you believe in. I also feel like your immediate vicinity is going to be pretty busy, and you may pick up some extra skills. You may interact with some new and exciting people. So it's going to be an interesting year nonetheless. But at the heart of it all is knowledge and expanding your mind. Want to know more? Keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things you like, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell, so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me over there at Divine Feminine Works. Every day, I've got a whole bunch of content on tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. All right, so head over there and follow me. All right, so I am so excited to be bringing you this video because this is the video of the year. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, this is the one you definitely want to watch. Actually, this series, because I'm going to be breaking it down by sign, okay? But this is the 2022 astrology forecast. One of my favorite phrases is when you know better, you do better. And if you know what's coming ahead in the coming year, rest assured you're going to be prepared and you're going to know exactly what to do. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, Virgo. So for you, 2022 is all about what you know on the one hand and what you believe on the other. This coming year is going to be a lot about education and teaching. Basically, receiving information and then disseminating that information to the world. It's also a year about extremes. You've got your immediate vicinity and environment on the one hand, and you've got the world at large on the other. So there's a lot going on for you that has to do with the people around you, the people that you relate to, and again, what you know and what you believe. All right, so let's take the year chronologically and see what's in store for you. So at the top of the year, we have Venus retrograde and Pluto in Capricorn, which is going down in your 5th house of creativity, children, romance, and fun. So being that Venus is the planet of love and romance, and the 5th house covers romantic partners, dating, and all of that stuff, you're going to be reevaluating all of that, particularly if you're someone who's not necessarily in a committed relationship. If you're just dating, having fun, seeing what's out there, you're sort of going to take a step back, maybe sort of dial back on the dating and think about what you look for in a partner, what your heart is really telling you, and if that matches what you've been experiencing in the past. So this isn't necessarily the time for you to start a new relationship or to get out on the dating scene. It's really more about a time of reevaluating where you've been and where you'd like to go with that. For others of you, this may affect your relationship with your children. Maybe it's time to reevaluate how you deal with your children, how you raise them, what kind of upbringing you give them, okay? And for others, this may have to do with your creativity as it pertains to your heart. Are you following your heart and creating from your heart? Are you making money from your creativity? All of those things are going to be up for review with Venus retrograde in Capricorn. And with Pluto there as well, there is a shift and a transformation that's happening on a very deep level. Pluto also covers control. So particularly if we're talking about relationships, dating, and children, Where does the control lie? Do you feel like you are in control of these relationships, or do these relationships control you? Are they all consuming, or do you not give them enough attention? Again, these are the questions that Venus retrograde is going to ask you. And this is going to be occurring between January and February. Now in April, we have the first eclipse of the year, which is a partial solar eclipse in Taurus. And this is going down in your 9th house. The 9th house covers long distance travel. It covers things that are foreign to us. And it covers our spirituality and what we believe, what we have faith in. So this is sort of going to be a renewal of faith for you. It's a new opening on your spiritual path. Solar eclipses occur at the new moon lunar phase, and they happen in a very big way because it's an eclipse. And so now there is going to be this breath of fresh air when it comes to your spiritual path, when it comes to your faith. Perhaps this is going to be a great time for you to travel, especially to someplace you've never been before, someplace long distance. This may be the time to start an upper level course, college or grad school or law school. This may be a great time to learn a new language or to immerse yourself in cultures that are different than yours, in a way to broaden your horizons and perhaps give you a different perspective on what you believe. Right? Now in May, we have Jupiter going into Aries, and this is going to highlight your 8th house. Jupiter is the greater benefic, and Jupiter is all about good fortune and abundance. And if we're talking about the 8th house, we're talking about intimacy and we're talking about shared resources. So there's going to be a positive transformation when it comes to shared resources for you. And Jupiter is going to be in Aries between May and October. So between that time, especially if you have a partner, if you have a spouse, something really great may happen with them in terms of money. They may be getting more money in that they share with you. People may want to invest in your business at that time. You may have an inheritance coming to you in a good way. It's not going to be something that's really dreadful, right? You may have some unexpected tax money that comes to you. Whatever it is, your shared resources and even your personal and spiritual transformation are going to be positively affected with Jupiter and Aries. And again, that's between May and October. Also in May, we have the second eclipse, which is a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, which is your 3rd house. Now, the 3rd house covers specific skills, specific knowledge, our immediate vicinity, our neighborhood. And so with a lunar eclipse, it's going to shine a light on our immediate vicinity and what we know. Now, this may elicit an emotional response from you because it may show you what you don't know, what skills you don't have, what's going on in your neighborhood that may not be so good, in a way to eclipse those things out of your life so you now have room for what is good and what really works for you. The 3rd house is the busy bee house. So around that time in May, expect things in the neighborhood to be like the block is going to be hot. Let's just say that. A lot of busy energy. You're going to see things in your immediate vicinity that you may have not noticed in the past. Okay. Now, from October to November, we have Saturn square Uranus. And if you watch the general 2022 astro forecast, this is the quintessential aspect of the year. This is what we're all going to be dealing with on a collective level. And Saturn square Uranus is basically, it highlights the conflict between structure and boundaries on the one hand and freedom on the other. Now, this particular aspect is going down between your 6th house of work and health and your 9th house of spirituality, higher education, and long distance travel. So how this may work for you, or how this may play out for you, is that your daily activities and responsibilities are pretty solid, right? You have daily responsibilities, daily work that you have to do. You're on a health regimen that's very disciplined. And that's going to be in conflict to this new breath of fresh air that you have with your spirituality and what you believe in. So it may be that you have, you now have a fundamental difference in opinion when it comes to the work that you do, or you have a different view on a health issue or how you handle your health generally. And those are going to be in conflict. And again, this is Saturn square Uranus, which is going down between October and November. So at that time, you're going to want to find a solution to this conflict. It doesn't mean that you have to pick one over the other. It's like you have to forego this new spiritual awakening that you're experiencing for your everyday life. Sort of meld the two, find a compromise between the two, and that way you can enjoy the best of both worlds. All right. And so also in October, we have a partial solar eclipse in your third house of Scorpio. All right. So remember I said before you had the lunar eclipse in Scorpio back in May, and that sort of showed you what wasn't working, what you didn't know, what skills you didn't have. Now that you realize that in October, now you can implement those new skills. You can, whatever you don't know, you can learn. You can acquire that knowledge. Things in your neighborhood may now be turning a leaf for the better, and there's this new energy in your immediate vicinity, okay? And that's how that solar eclipse is going to play out. Also in October, we have Jupiter in Pisces, and this is going down in your 7th house of relationships. So Jupiter in Pisces is really going to bless you with relationships and commitments. And it's going to be very over the top. It's going to be very romantic, given the presence of Neptune in Pisces also at that time. So you're going to have this like good fortune and abundance with respect to relationships and commitments. And it's going to be very flowery. It's going to be very feel good. It's going to be very romantic and rose colored glasses type energy. All right. So you have that to look forward to in October. And also in October, we have Mars retrograde in Gemini, and this is going down in your 10th house of career and public life. At that time, you're going to want to take a step back from career. You're not going to want to implement anything new. As a matter of fact, when it comes to being motivated about your career and your public life, you're going to be much less motivated at that time. And Mars is going to be retrograde in Gemini from October until January of 2023. So at the end of this coming year, it's going to be kind of slow on the career front. You're not really going to be making much strides. You're not going to be really doing anything. It's not going to be the time to really start a new business or start a new career endeavor. You're really just going to want to think, plan, and strategize for when Mars goes direct in January of 2023. All right. And then finally, we close out the year with the last eclipse, a total lunar eclipse in your 9th house of Taurus. So we've come full circle. Remember I said in the beginning, in April, we have a solar eclipse in Taurus. This is your spiritual awakening. This is broadening your horizon. This is all about your beliefs and expanding your beliefs. Now you will have had the whole year to kind of work with that. Test out these new beliefs, kind of see how they work in, your everyday life, right? And now you're going to realize and see what may not be working or what works really well. And now you can move forward with this newfound knowledge. All right. So to recap, this year is really about what you know versus what you believe. These things are going to be tested. They're going to be things outside of your control because we're talking about eclipses. So eclipses always sort of, it's the universe's way of doing things for you. These things out of your control are going to test your belief and your knowledge. You'll see what you're lacking, you'll see what you have, and then you adjust accordingly. All right, my loves, that has been the Astro Forecast for 2022. I sincerely hope that you were able to glean some information that may be helpful to you in the coming year. As always, it is my pleasure and a privilege to be bringing this information to you. I wish you nothing but the best. I mean, the absolute best for 2022. This is going to be a year to remember, and I sincerely hope that it brings you everything that your heart truly desires. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next year. Take care.